Melissa Lee. I apologise to the member. I didn't mean to ring the bell. I meant to stand up.
Okay. I prefer the bell.
Melissa Bell.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you for the opportunity to take a call on the Education Restoration of Democracy to University Councils Amendment Bill presented by the Honourable Member for New Lynn across the House. So in response to the member who just sat down from the New Zealand First bench, she's always very passionate about education bills, and I commend her for that. But I just want to remind her that there is democracy, and then there's democracy. North Korea is called the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. I'll just leave it hanging there. And I just want to say that good governance does not need specially mandated seats for all and sundry who demand them. And often there are more who demand them than there are actually places available for them. So it is a real shame that this bill has been brought to the House because it fails to take into account the amazing work that our government and our Minister for Tertiary Education, Skills and Employment, Honourable Stephen Joyce, has in fact carried out. It fails to understand the great work undertaken to modernise and promote best practice governance at all our tertiary learning institutions, sir. The reform that the government has actually introduced and that were passed into law in February allow universities to take better stock of how they wish to govern themselves. They promote the introduction of smaller, skill-based and more productive university councils. And I know that different members have actually mentioned the participation of students and staff members as well. And I repeat some of the stats, sir, that I know Honourable Maurice Williamson has actually sort of mentioned, that 7 out of the 8 universities has 1 student on their new councils, with the remaining institution having 2. And as for the staff, 7 of the 8 also provide for 2 staff positions on the councils, with the remaining institution having 1 staff on its council. And it's not mandated, but they've done it by choice. The law changes we on this side of the House implemented just a few months ago ensures that New Zealanders and international students attending our universities will not face deficient bylaws and processes that may affect their study opportunities. Students should be able to learn effectively without the hassles of excess bureaucracy and unnecessary intrusions to their formative academic years. And for those worried about, the loss, I mean, as I said, many of the universities have actually, committed to making sure of the staff and student participation as well. A number of, I just want to sort of talk about some of the things that some universities have also removed, something called the Courts of Convocation. And as part of the changes to the Governing Council, the Courts of Convocation is something that not many even know. I didn't even know. And many university graduates, but it means that it basically elects graduates into their council. The reason that the universities themselves actually abolished it is because graduates with eligibility were often voting in such abysmal numbers, and they had terrible turnout, and it didn't actually reflect the will of the university alumni. So we on this side of the House are keeping our promise to make sure that New Zealand actually gets the best deliberation of education, to ensure that we have a world-class university and that people of New Zealand get best practices leadership in these public institutions, sir. And I will be voting alongside my party colleagues and not support the advancement of this bill, and will be supporting the current process that is actually working for New Zealand, sir.
I call David.